He approached the border, raindrops gathering on his whiskers. I don't smell any issues. Littlehair took a glance at the riverbank, glancing towards Kindlestar. Me neither. Stormshade gazed across the river, his gaze tightening at the side of the bridge. That's one less thing we have to worry about. Kindlestar looked down. The line on the shore, where the water usually rested, was deeper into the stream than usual. This weather makes it harder for me to smell, too. It pounced, shaking off some of the water, though it was inevitably pointless since it was still standing in the rain. He tilted his head, though it was normal for the rain to rise the river. Nothing to worry about. He hoped that tomorrow, where he'd be standing now, the river would not reach. But now, it seemed, it's been raining nonstop for days. Has the shoreline always been this high? Not usually, but it's to be expected with the rain. For as long as RiverClan stays in their camp, we have nothing to be worried about. Dewdrip nodded in agreement, flicking water off her paws. The feline blinked, taking a closer look at the riverbank. Oh, dung, it is a bit higher, it murmured. Huh, what do you know? His sour expression lightened, though just slightly. He trusted Kindlestar's judgment. He always had. I just hope StarClan is kind to us this moon. Let's go back to camp. I'll let Alderbranch know, just in case he has any concerns. He nodded. The deputy nodded in agreement, following.
Your work is appreciated, he nodded to the Tom.
Welcome back, he mewed cheerfully. The rest of you can go on with your days. Littlehair padded into the camp clearing, flicking its own tail in its dismissal. Thank you. I'm glad you see it that way. The ginger Tom looked very pleased with himself.
He looked over to the leader, then shot a dirty glance towards the blue warrior. How's the patrol?
You catch any drowned mice out there? Fireleap joked with an amused look. Stormshade perked up a brow as he passed by Alderbranch, flicking his tail flippantly. Waiting for someone? Stormshade, go on. He gave a
Not you, evidently, he huffed, looking to the leader defiantly.
Jeez, the rain really gets under his fur, Fireleap muttered. What is with that Tom? He murmured as well. Anyway, I see worry in your eyes, Alderbranch. What's on your mind?
That Tom is mouse-brained, he always has been. Alderbranch scoffed, then continued. I am worried. The rain has been relentless. Every cat is soaked, and I feel like my paw pads are peeling off my feet.
You could wrap them in oak leaves. He glanced down at the Tom's legs. The river has risen slightly, but new leaf always brings heavy rain. We'll manage.
He flicked his ear. That much is true. However, all the herbs I've been gathering won't dry. I've had them laid out in my den for days, but the air is so humid they won't be ready to store for a while.
He took a breath. The rain will end soon.
I've got to get back to my den, or my fur will melt off my body. He chuckled. I appreciate your enthusiasm, even if I cannot share it.
Bye, Alderbranch. Fireleap meowed with delight, even if he had just been listening in. That cat works his whiskers off for the clan, Fireleap mewed. I hope his worries are not shared with the rest of the clan. He patted away. He sat under the tall rock, drying his fur. Though the air was so humid, he was only able to clear the droplets of rain, and his pelt remained damp. Embertail. Kindlestar. The log is soaked. The Elder's Den has not a single dry spot. His ears perked. That's not good. I'm sorry to hear. I don't want any sores, especially with the herbs not drying out, he added only in his mind. I would suggest no moss, but I don't think there is any not soaked in the whole forest. My bones are sore, and I think it's affecting the others. We may need to move the elders into the spare den. Speak with the others and see if they're willing to move. I can assign some warriors to help make the spare den more comfortable. Well, I think RiverClan has never had it better, he says, trying to lighten the mood. I'll talk to the others. Good night, Embertail. He licked the Tom on the head. He dips his head. Good night, Kindlestar. Father, he chuckled. The air began to shift as dawn approached. He was disgruntled to see a decent pool of water trickling into his den, gathering within the deeper crevices. His den was the lowest in camp, so of course their men would start to gather there. Perhaps he'd find himself in the spare den too. He looked at the sky, blinking the water from his eyes. Things seemed to be getting worse, but starclan would have warned them if this was threatening, right?
Good morning, Kindlestar, he spoke, having to raise his voice over the rain.
It's certainly morning, he shifted. My den has pools of water in it.
Oh, starclan, he sighed. That sounds awful. It's been a rough few days. This rain seems to just keep on raining. He shook his head. When his name was spoken, he turned to look over at the Queen.
Flimkit tried to take a deep breath, but started coughing again. They looked exhausted. She motioned for Fogkit to hide under her, out of the rain as much as possible. Both of my kids have a cough. I worry with the rain. They may have caught something. As long as we can hunt, we will manage. Have any cats come to you with ailment? He turned, his question being answered. He panted. Alder, Cobble's kids have a cough too.
That cough sounded nasty, and his ears pinned. It was true, the cold was harsh, especially for kits. Oh, stars above. I have some catmint for them.
That's just kitten cough, right? His fur bristled.
It's been quiet in my den, fortunately. But this is worrisome. All the kits. His eyes widened a little.
Alder! He'd cry out. Rain can barely breathe! He was shaking in pure fear. Rain was placed on his back, rain batting against his fur. Kitten cough would be worse. Thorsten's mew was fierce. She had seen the devastation of young kits with the dreaded disease of kitten cough.
Bring all the kits with a cough into my den this instant, he ordered. I will get them all dried off and administer catmint.
He watched the patrol arrive with prey. That was good, at least. Little Hair glanced blankly at Kindlestar, before its position on the rock, somewhat like a silent question. Little Hair? Kindlestar, it mewed. You're switching. Send a patrol to check the riverbank, and put a stick in the sand where it sits, so we know if it rises anymore. Right. I can do that. It nods. Hopefully it hasn't risen too much from yesterday. Hurry back. We can't have more cats catching a cold. The deputy nodded, turning around. Kindlestar, she started. She glanced at Dewdrip. The prey is getting soaked with this non-stop rain, she spoke. It might spoil really quickly. Should we move the pile to somewhere dry? I will find a solution. We're already moving the elders to a more closed space. I'll find somewhere for the prey. She nods as Dewdrip finished her thought. Thanks, Kindlestar. She dipped her head. Thank you, she mewed. Go on and rest your heads. Let's go somewhere dry. She moved to the warrior's den. Kindlestar. Little Hair walks up, with its brows furrowed. Got a report for ya. Little Hair. Good news? Yeah. He dragged that on for a bit. Think what you want of it, but the water is more... How do I word this? Little Hair stared for a moment. Higher. You don't need to sugarcoat it. I need to know. He nodded. Thank you. Right, sorry. It flicked its ear. We placed the stick down, so hopefully this heavy downpour doesn't cause it to push any further. He thought for a bit, though his thought was interrupted by an eerie creaking sound, then a large crash that shook the earth within camp. He physically jumped. That was in the forest. Little Hair's ears perked up immediately, glancing around. What the, huh? He let out a screech when he saw one of the pine logs had fallen, clean off of its roots. He let out an even worse sound when he saw Ginger Fur peeking out from under. Push the log! He yowled. He reared up and slammed his front paws on the log, trying to push it. Little Hair reared, using all of his weight to push the log as much as it could. She slammed into the log, trying to move it. He moved to help Kindlestar, not caring what was happening. With the warrior's help, the log eventually rolled enough to let Embertail's body into view. He stared at the mangled side of his father. In his maw was a bundle of dry moss he'd gone out to find. Embertail, the deputy was just talking to the Tom yesterday. Take his body back to camp. I need to hold a meeting. Farquaad blinked the rain away from his eyes. All cats old enough to catch their own prey gather beneath the high rock for a clan meeting. Embertail was crushed by a tree. The tree seemed to fall on its own, like the rain had washed the dirt from its roots. He had gone to find dry moss for the elders. On top of this, our kids have fallen ill. The rain has no mercy. From now on, the elders will stay in the spare den. All kids will be staying in the medicine den to be closely monitored. We will instead move the prey into the elders' den. We will build a platform of rocks to keep it above the soggy ground. We will continue to adapt until this rain ceases. Alderbranch and I will be going to the Moonstone to speak with our ancestors in search of guidance until the forest dries. Little Hair will be in charge of the clan, as well as the senior warriors should Little Hair need help. We will hold a vigil for Embertail, but we should bury his body swiftly. He didn't want to say it, but the rain would cut his grieving short. Dismissed.
He flicked his tail, then looked at the Stormshade. Come on, I have a task for you while I'm gone. He spoke with urgency, yet not with the usual snarkiness.
Oh?
I need you to watch over the kids in my absence. Use the catnip if you must. Just keep them safe. He instructed the taller Tom.
A brief softness, followed by a tightened expression, was worn on his face. I'm flattered you trust me.
He then pointed his gaze toward the leader. I'll get some travel herbs for us. Alderbranch leaned up to reach for the shelf, when a shocked gasp echoed through the den.
What's wrong? Alderbranch? He piped up, his tone stern.
The herbs! He nearly choked, grabbing the herbs down from the shelves. Rot, black slimy rot, covered every bit of the soggy herbs. His eyes widened in terror as he continued to drag out herb after herb. It was all spoiled. The humidity in the air had caused every single preserved herb to quell and rot.
It couldn't be. What were the chances? No. He swallowed the lump in his throat. Seeing the medicine cat panic like this was bone-chilling.
My herbs! Tears welled up in Alderbranch's eyes. Please, starclan, this cannot be true!
Let's go, he urged.
With one desperate look back at the Stormshade that spoke more than 1,000 words, he rushed after the leader.
He took a deep breath. Finally, a dry place. The tunnel leading to the moonstone.
The stone was already illuminated by the moonlight, despite the heavy clouds that rained onto the crystal. He didn't speak, simply motioned for them to touch their noses to the cold surface.
Kindlestar rested his head. The deeper parts of the cave were soaked from the rain that had leaked in from the hole in the roof.
Suddenly, the voices of hundreds, maybe even thousands, racked Kindlestar's body in the blink of an eye. Kindlestar.
He shot up, seemingly horrified to be face to face with the StarClan cat within the cave itself. No StarClan grounds.
He felt similarly. The eeriness of the situation chilled him more than the cold rain.
No reaction. Nothing but the same stillness of the stagnant rock around them. You've let your clan rot from the inside out. Your secrets bring sadness to the stars. Your clan shall know eternal rain for as long as the stars burn in the sky.
You'll wash us away! Kindlestar cried. Cats are dying!
In its eyes, contempt. If you can't admit your sins, perhaps that is for the best.
He was visibly shaking.
His eyes were terrified, as he urgently nudged the leader towards the exit. That was... He hesitated.
I've never had a StarClan cat talk to me outside of StarClan grounds. Is it because it's not moon high? He seemed shaken.
I don't know, he responded honestly. Alderbranch tensed. What did they mean by secrets? He looked over to the leader anxiously.
His eyes shone with fear. I don't know.
A lump formed in his throat. There was one thing he could think of that was a secret. His biggest secret.
We must return. Our clan could be underwater by now.
It couldn't be, right? This couldn't be the reason why cats were dying. Yeah, he agreed. Let's return.
As they padded in, Kindlestar instantly noticed a consistent pool of water overtaking the clearing. It was up to his ankles had he been standing in it.
This is bad, he whispered. We need to leave. We need to get out of here. There's a death trap. We're going to drown. We're going to...
Stop! Stop! He shook at Alderbranch's shoulder. Panic will not help. We will drown if we freeze. Alderbranch! He bolted out of the den, skidding to a halt next to the brown tom, pressing his muzzle to his forehead. His fur was cold.
He shrieked at the sudden jolting. We have to get out of here, please! He stared in horror up at Stormshade. We have to go! Now! Tears mixed with the rain running down his face.
Look at me, Alderbranch. Look at me. Pure pleading in his eyes. Breathe. Faster than he would have guessed, the water level in the clearing was rising. It was nearing a depth that could sweep a cat away. Evacuate the snake rocks! He yowled.
He couldn't breathe. Not until he forced himself to stare right into Stormshade's eyes.
Little Hair, make sure the kits and elders make it out. Little Hair's eyes widened, turning to the rest of the clearing before he could say anything. Stormshade, help Alderbranch out. He didn't move 1 inch. Not ever. Not while Alderbranch was like this. Putting his paw on the brown toms, he nodded to Kindlestar. What can I do to help? Get yourself out of here. He watched the clan leave. He peered over the edge of camp. It was like a big bowl. Herbs, prey, and scattered fur from the fleeing cats was mixed within it. Let's go. Do we have everyone? Find your friends. Are you okay? He breathed.
Yeah, he mumbled. His head was spinning with too many emotions. Embarrassment, fear, confusion, guilt. It all mixed into a slurry of panic-inducing madness. He said nothing about Stormshade's tail wrapped around him, simply stared with glossy eyes.
He stared at the two. They'd been at each other's throats mere sunrises ago. He assumed they'd been enemies. Little Hair, he breathed, water in his nostrils. Counted. There should be all of ThunderClan. Little Hair panted, catching its breath. Great StarClan, what was this? We can't stay here long. He could see the water pooling under the rocky bridges that they were rested on. Where would we go? It's flooded all around! Little Hair gave a weak nod, paying loose attention. One thing came up on its mind. Do you think all the other clans are okay? You know, from this all? It stirred. Something in Kindlestar snapped when Little Hair spoke. We're struggling to stay on dry land, and that's what you're worried about? Little Hair blinked, dumbfounded. What? No, I was just wondering. Had it said something wrong? Surely worrying for multiple cats outside of ThunderClan wasn't the worst thought, right? He swallowed. You. StarClan said it was our fault for the rain, that we were laying in sin. He looked at the stars, blurred by the rain. You. What did you do? Me? Little Hair's ears perked up. He patted forward, unintentionally forcing Little Hair to step back towards the edge. Kindlestar, I didn't do anything. I couldn't! Little Hair's fur began to bristle in response, mostly out of fear. I don't want to hurt anyone, he'd plead. But if I can stop the rain...
When Alderbranch saw Kindlestar approaching like that, he suddenly surged with energy. No! It's not its fault! He yowled, loud enough to overcome the rain. It's me! It's my secret! He whimpered.
It paused. His eyes widened. What? What?
I broke the code. I kept the secret from the clan, from myself, from... He shivered, not just from the rain. Then he glanced back towards Stormshade. I broke the sacred medicine cat code by... He stammered.
He joined Alderbranch at the flank. What did you do? All the Tom could do was stand there like a fool. The deputy's brows furrowed, horrified.
By loving another. He finally produced the answer.
His whiskers twitched. He was so fixed on Alderbranch, he didn't realize the rain had stopped.
With the rain stopping, Alderbranch felt weak, his legs giving out from under him. I should have never kept this a secret.
Little Hair glanced to Kindlestar, then back to Alderbranch, eyes widening. So this was all StarClan's doing? The rain had stopped, too. With his chin tilted up to the sky, the deafening downpour no longer plagued his mind, nor his ears. Only the shame that built up in his heart. He pinched his own mouth shut. StarClan nearly washed them away for that?
I'll leave the clan. I'll accept any punishment you see fit, Kindlestar. He whispered, I'll never see Stormshade in that way again.
Wait, what? Stormshade wore a bewildered look on his face. No, we can be together as warriors, Alderbranch. He pressed his muzzle against the Tom's cheek. And we won't have to hide anything anymore. Kindlestar knew that this wasn't a decision Alderbranch would make on his own, either for pride or stubbornness. This foolish crush had caused a great flood, one that killed his father.
They silently waited for the punishment to be decreed.
His pupils narrowed. I do not wish harm on you, Alderbranch. You're like a brother to me. However, you will no longer serve as the clan's medicine cat. You will not be allowed to leave camp. You will be tasked with training the medicine cat that will take your place, and only after then will you be treated as a warrior. So this was the path that was carved for them. StarClan decided. Well, StarClan decided to punish them, and so be it. He'd live forever long with Alderbranch, but StarClan will no longer be his teacher.
I'll do so, Kindlestar. He mumbled, his ears pinned flat against his head. At least he'd have Stormshade. I'll choose a worthy apprentice to teach, or you shall choose one for me.
He bent down and touched his head to Alderbranch's forehead. The clan's wrath is enough of a punishment. I will not spite you for this. He hoped Alderbranch understood.
Understanding was one thing, yet he still felt as though StarClan had forsaken him for one simple mistake. He was glad in a way, as he would no longer be able to look his ancestors in the eyes.
I ate kitty pet food once. His gaze softened. He closed his eyes as the sun, for the first time in almost a moon, warmed his fur. Once the forest has dried, we will return home. For now, continue as normal, as much as you can. Stormshade draped his tail over Alderbranch's flank as he attempted to meet Kindlestar's gentle gaze. A nod, similar to the one he gave the leader on that patrol, that fateful day.